House Republicans have introduced legislation to nip in the bud, as Barney Fife would say, the Department of Homeland Security's so-called Disinformation Governance Board, which the Secretary of DHS, Secretary Mayorkas, announced 2 weeks ago as an initiative that his department was launching. Well, the bill was introduced yesterday by Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and it has the full support of the Republican leadership in the House.
The Disinformation Governance Board is just a surreal idea. And you've heard it described as Orwellian, you've heard it described as dystopian. Let's just put it very clearly, very bluntly, it's unconstitutional.
That is Congressman Mike Johnson of Louisiana, who is the co-chair of the conference, vice chair of the conference. Joining us now to talk more about the bill is the author herself, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. She serves on the House Budget Committee, and as the communications chair of the House Freedom Caucus, she represents the 3rd Congressional District of Colorado. Congresswoman Boebert, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Thank you so much, Tony. It is an honor to be on with you today.
All right, tell us about the legislation you've introduced, what it would do, and how it will be carried out.
Sure. Well, first of all, Americans on the right, left, and center should all be able to agree that the federal government has no business trying to monitor our speech and judge what is true and what's not. Secretary Mayorkas went on TV and tried to spin this new disinformation board as a nothing burger, but he said that it had bad PR. It has bad PR rollout, and it's not really adding up. Just look at Nina Jankowicz that was hired to run the program. And I'm not going to spend time talking about the horrendous things that she has said. Plenty of people can look that up for themselves. But I do want to talk about how she has been a parrot of MSNBC and pushed tons of fake news or disinformation, as the CNN host likes to call it. She said that the Hunter Biden's laptop was a plant by the Trump campaign. She pushed the Russia hoax, and she also dismissed the COVID-19 lab leak theory as disinformation. She's really very partisan, and this whole department looks like it's intended to attack the Republicans and silence free speech altogether. And that's why I introduced the Protecting Free Speech Act to terminate this board. This bill would defund this board. And what people really need to know is this was created under the Department of Homeland Security. So DHS was created after 9/11 to protect us from terrorists, and now it's being used to terrorize Americans. And DHS is a militarized arm of the government. They have means to enforce this Disinformation Governance Board, or if anyone has read the 1984 book by and heard about the
George Orwell.
Ministry of Truth, yes. This is really scary that we have an entire party who didn't take that 1984 book as a warning. They looked at it as a guide, and that's what we're seeing here. So my bill would defund this Disinformation Board, this Ministry of Truth, and prevent the federal government from ever establishing another one like it.
And we don't have to look very far to see the effects of this, because we can look at what big tech has been doing to silence conservative voices over the last couple of years. And when you think about government, and we know the Biden administration is in communication with big tech, you put the two together and we've almost lost our First Amendment freedom.
That's right. Our First Amendment has absolutely been under attack for the past 2 or 3 years, especially. We certainly, our free speech is under attack. The freedom of the press is under attack. We have journalists who have had battering rams at their door with FBI agents confiscating materials that they have, and others who have been surveilled by federal government agencies, and really this is like a dark arm of these agencies that Congress has no congressional oversight into, because we don't even know that these activities are taking place until there's an actual victim who speaks out about it and produces that discovery. But look at the right to assemble. We were only able to assemble if we were protesting. This was something where Americans were locked in their homes, but if you wanted to go spray paint the Capitol building in your state, well, then you were free to do that, or burn down businesses. And certainly our freedom of religion was hindered as we were not able to gather in our churches while we were locked down at home. So our First Amendment is under attack all over the place. And as a member of the United States House of Representatives, I am here to secure the rights of the American people first and foremost. This is why we were established. These rights do not come from politicians. They come from God, and we are here to secure those rights. Now we have someone in the White House, or perhaps a fake White House set, as we've seen. I don't know why you wouldn't just go into the Oval Office, but he is now saying that no amendment is absolute. And if that's the case, well, then let's just start with the 16th Amendment and do away with federal taxes, federal income taxes. But this is a really scary place. What's next? Do women not have the right to vote? What else is going to be under attack by this administration, by these radical individuals who are in power right now?
Well, whatever they can get away with, I'm sure. Congresswoman Boebert, great to talk with you. Thanks so much for coming on today.
Thanks so much, Tony.